For this practice, you'll need 2 blocks or a stack of books about that height, a blanket if you like padding for your knees, and we're going to start on our belly in prone shavasana. So cross your hands at the top of your mat, rest your forehead on your hands. And notice your breathing today. And then we'll start to deepen that breath. But we're going to inhale and press the belly into the mat, filling it up with air. Exhale, hug the belly button to the spine and see if you can pull the belly up off the ground just with your core muscles. Inhale, push the belly into the ground, filling up your lungs with air. Exhale, hug the belly up off the ground. See if you can do 10 of those, so 8 more. And try not to squeeze your glutes here. You're just using your core, your belly. Just waking up the transverse abdominals. And once you finish those 10, allow your breathing to become soft and its normal state. And relax. Take a moment to come up with a metta phrase, a loving kindness phrase. So this can be maybe, may I accept myself with ease, or may I have joy, may I have peace, or your own phrase that you would like, something kind and loving that you can say to yourself. And from here, take your hands out to the sides off your mat, tenting your fingers, elbows pointing up to the sky. Inhale, pull your head up and your chest forward. Exhale, drop your right shoulder down to the mat, look under your left armpit. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, other side. We'll do that one more time each side. And come back to center, and we're just going to roll our shoulders in circles toward the front of the mat, one at a time, like you're going to crawl along in a slithery way on the ground. Then reverse the circles, rolling the shoulders back one at a time. Then take your hands underneath your shoulders somewhat. Elbows are hugging in against your ribs, and push up to plank on your knees. From here, come to tabletop. So knees go underneath your hips. And you're going to straighten out the left leg behind you, and we'll keep the toes on the ground and press that heel back. Little calf stretch here. And we'll pivot that right foot behind you and come up for a side plank. So left arm up to the sky and really root down through that straight legs foot. Reach up to the sky with the top hand. You can look up or down. And then take that top hand and reach it over to the top edge of your mat. Then roll that shoulder up and back. Look up and breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to tabletop. We'll switch to the other side. So left foot, or actually right foot, stretches out behind you. The heel is pressing behind you, toes on the ground. You can pump that foot a little bit if you want. It's working into the calf. Then pivot the left foot behind you, straighten that right leg or your opposite leg if you did the other side, and then that right arm to the sky. Root down through that straight legs foot and reach overhead with that top hand, open the chest up to the sky. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back to table. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. Exhale, round the spine. Keep going with your breath, your pace. You can sway the hips, circle the hips. Drop into a child's pose if you need it. Once you feel even front to back, side to side, we'll take some bird dogs. So kick that left heel back. Toes can stay on the ground if you need to, or they can lift up. They don't have to be, your leg doesn't have to be super high. Try to keep your hips level. If you have a block, place a block right touching the outside of your right knee. That way that'll help you keep your hip over your knee. If it falls over, it's okay. Just pick up and place it back there. Then reach the right arm forward, so the opposite arm, opposite leg. Hug the belly in, squeeze the glute, and reach out with the hand and the foot. Bring that elbow and knee to touch around the spine, hug the belly in, and tap the elbow to the knee. Reach back out, inhale. Exhale, bring it back in, nice and slow. One more. Drop that hand and knee. You can switch the block to the other side. And we'll take bird dog on the other side. So right foot behind you. Straighten that leg. Lift the foot if you can. Squeeze the glute. And reach the left hand out. Reach both sides. Inhale. Exhale, bring it in. Elbow and knee to touch. Then reach out. Matching your breath to your movement. Bring it into tap. One more. Place that hand and knee down. Take a few rounds of cat-cow. And you can shake out your wrists. Flick your fingers like you're flicking water if you're having any wrist pain at all. And then from here, we'll come to a seated position on our mat. And take your feet out in front, bend your knees, and put your hands behind you, just resting on your hands. We're just going to sway the knees side to side. Warming up the hips now. And next time your knees fall over, actually bring the knees back to center, walk the feet out to the edges of your mat so they're nice and wide. Then send the knees over to the left and you can sit up. And now you're in that deer pose position. So you can pull that right leg back if you want more of a hip flexor stretch on that right side, or you can just adjust your feet and your legs how you like them. Then sit up nice and tall. You're going to twist toward the left side. So you're twisting left toward the front leg. And sitting up nice and tall, we're going to walk away from our body, like lifting our upper body away from the lower body. And then stay here on your hands. Only twist enough to where you feel a nice sensation for you, nothing too crazy. And we'll stay here on our hands. Relax your belly. And you can stay there on your hands, or you can take blocks under your hands or your elbows to a block, your forearms, or you can come all the way down to your mat on your elbows. You can always come back on the twist if this is way too much for you today on your back. If you're down on your forearms, maybe try crossing your arms and resting your forehead on your arm. Again, soften your belly, your jaw, your face. You can come back to that loving kindness phrase and say it one more time to yourself. May I be at ease. May I accept myself with ease. May I have joy, or may I have love, whatever your phrase is. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, rise up. Take your time, unwind. You'll come back to center, bringing the knees back to center, and then we'll windshield wiper the knees again a few times side to side. And with the feet wide on the mat, let the knees fall to the right this time. Sit up tall. You can adjust that left leg or your front leg, however you like it for deer. Sit up nice and tall. Twist to the right this time. And we're going to walk our hands back behind us. You can stay here on your hands. I like to pause here for a moment. Give my back a second to figure out what's happening. If you want to drop to a block or two, you can, or maybe drop all the way to your forearms. Take your time here. If you made it that far, cross your hands or your arms and rest your forehead down. You can always bring the legs closer together. I feel like it's a little bit easier on the body if you do that. Take a deep breath in. Full exhale. And rise up. Unwind carefully. Come back to center and take a few more windshield wiper movements. And then here's where you're going to need your blocks. So place your blocks or your stack of books without the covers on them right alongside your hips. And then you're going to place your hands on those blocks. Fingertips are pointing to your feet. And from here, we're just going to press down into the blocks. Our elbows are going to be pointing back behind us. And we're going to roll our shoulder blades together on our back, almost like if you were holding a pencil back there in between those shoulder blades, it wouldn't move. So you're rolling those back, and you're going to, this time, hug your belly button to your spine. And you're going to drive down through your heels. Actually, we're going to bend our knees, but the feet are still kind of far away from you, but they're flat. So see if you can remember all that. Shoulders back, hug the belly in, push down into the hands and the feet, and you're just going to lift your hips up, straightening your arms. And your hips are just kind of dangling here. Then set them down. You can take those wrist breaks anytime you need, shaking your wrists out or rolling out your wrists. And again, shoulder blades together, hug the belly in, press down, lift up, straighten the arms, and lower down. This time, we're going to press down and lift our hips a little bit higher, coming into reverse tabletop. So shoulders back, hug belly in, and press down, lift up, and you're going to send the hips up. See if you can maybe get them parallel to the mat. Here you can keep your chin tucked to your chest, or you can drop it down behind you, your head, so you do what's best for you. Squeeze the glutes here to help you lift up, and press down into your feet. Then slowly come back down. Shake out your wrists if you need it. We're going to do that again. Press up, shoulders back, lift up, squeeze the glutes. This time when we come down, you're going to bring the chin to the chest and then round forward like you're rounding the spine now and kind of coming into flexion of the spine. You're just going to round down and drop to the ground. So we're going to do that one more time, or actually two more times, but we're going to add that little part at the end. And this time, see if you can keep your glutes off the mat, even when we come down. You're just going to be hovering over the mat. So here we go. Plant the feet, bend the knees, shoulders back, hug the belly in, press down and lift up, squeeze the glutes. Breathe here. And tuck the chin, kind of round forward, and we're just going to thread our hips through. And we're just hovering here. Your feet can stay on the ground, or if you're like super strong today, you can lift your feet up. I can't do that yet. And then lower down. Shake out your wrists. We're going to do that one more time. When you're ready, bend the knees slightly, elbows back, shoulder blades together on your back, hug the belly in, press down, lift up. Squeeze the back body and bring the chest to the chin, round back as you come down, thread your hips through, floating your hips, float your legs if you can, and then lower down. Shake it out. Flick your fingers like you're flicking water. Roll the wrists. All right, wasn't that fun? Okay, we'll put those blocks aside and come back to tabletop. Let's tuck our toes, sit back on the heels, and take a wrist stretch. Back of the hands on the mat, fingertips pointing to the knees. Take a few breaths here. And then you can reverse your hands so your sole of the hand is on the mat, fingertips pointing to the knees. You can flip one hand at a time, back and forth, all different directions. All right, and then we're going to come back to tabletop. Take one round of cat-cow. Then we'll tuck our toes, send our hips up and back for down dog. You can pedal the feet out, wag the tail, whatever feels nice to you. And from here, lift the left leg to the sky, send it knee to elbow, and send the elbow across to the right elbow, and then back up. Do that 2 more times. Left knee, left elbow, across, back up. One more, left knee, left elbow, left knee, right elbow, and back up. Switch to the other side. Right leg up. Right knee, right elbow, then left, back up. You can do this on your knees as well. We're just doing 3 on each side. Once you come back to down dog, we're going to tiptoe or little baby hops up to your top edge of the mat in a forward fold. Take a deep breath here. Full breath out. And experiment with bending one knee, straighten the other leg. Try to keep your weight evenly distributed between both feet. And we'll take a little twist here. So left hand on the mat, bend the left knee, straighten the right leg and reach the right arm up to the sky. You can use blocks under your hands as well. And come back down, other side. Right knee bends, left leg straightens, left arm to the sky. And come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Straighten out your spine. You'll pull the crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold. Roll up so the head is the last to come up. All the way up into mountain pose. Once you get to mountain pose, roll your shoulders up and down and back. Pivot on your feet front to back so you feel nice and stable. So you can figure out where you want your feet to be. They might be right under your hips, they might be a little wider, they might be a little closer together. You decide. All right, once you feel stable, take your hands to your belly. Your thumbs are on your bottom part of your rib cage. Pinkies are on your hip bones, the front hip bones. Now, with your hands here on your abdomen, I want you to cough, a little baby cough. And when you cough, you feel those abdominal muscles pushing into your hands, your fingers. That's what you want when you do your standing poses. Okay, so it's called bracing your core or bracing and spacing, because you're also going to space by pulling the crown of your head up. And you feel that little space that just happened from your thumbs away from your ribs. So you're going to pull the crown of your head up, lifting the chest, spacing, and then bracing, pushing against your fingertips. So hold that as we go into a forward fold. So hold that. We're folding forward until you can't hold it anymore. Then let the spine take over and just round the spine. Inhale, halfway lift. You can brace here if you're able to, pushing out, lifting out through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold. Again, roll up. Head is the last to come up. Roll your shoulders up and down and back. Brace and space, lifting the crown of your head. Then lift your arms up to the sky, keeping that brace and the space. Interlace your fingers, take the palms to the sky, lean to the left. Still bracing here. Feel like I can't go as far in my bend when I'm bracing. I don't know if you're like that as well. And come back to center. That's okay because we're being stable with our body. And keeping the brace, lean over to the right. Good, and come back to center. From here, we're going to step back with the left foot into warrior two. So bend and straighten that front leg so you feel nice and stable in both legs. No big wind is going to come by and blow you down. So once you feel stable, bend that front knee. Make sure the knee's over the ankle as much as you can. You don't want it caving in or out. So you're going to engage that outside of your right thigh to really keep that knee in place. Then imagine you're scraping gum off the bottom of your right foot. So you're pulling it back toward the back foot. The back foot's also pulling toward the front. So all your muscles are engaged in your legs. Brace and space, lifting up through the crown of the head. Turn your rib cage to the long edge of the mat and your head is looking over the front fingertips. This is a strong, stable warrior right here. Breathe in and out. Take side angle. Right arm to the right thigh. Reach overhead with the left. Roll that top shoulder up and back. Look up if you can. Breathe. And come back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Reach forward with the right fingertips. Let that left hip pop back for triangle. So then you'll drop that right hand down to the inside of that right leg, however it wants to land. Left arm to the sky. Again, brace here and space. Good. Bend that right knee. Reach down and grab your block. Place it out in front of that right foot. Preparing for half moon. I like to take a little step in with my back foot, so you can try that. Before you tip down, brace your core. It really helps. So push out, lift up, keep that brace, pushing out. Then you'll slowly, you take your hand to your hip and you can come up, tip forward, really pushing down in that standing leg, pushing out with your belly. You can point the floating foot or flex it, however you like. Lift that top arm when you're ready, if you're ready. Look up if you want more challenge. Close your eyes for more challenge. One more breath. And drop that back foot down, warrior two. We'll turn to the long edge of our mat and fold forward, wide-legged fold. Take any variation of this pose that you like. If you want to take Skandasana, you can bend one knee, straighten the other leg, pull the toes up. You can keep your hands on the ground here, or you don't have to go all the way down. You can stay halfway. Or you can just stay in that forward fold. All right, once you feel even on both sides, come back to that forward fold. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Bend the knees slightly and round up. Round up. Don't use round up, it's bad. Head is the last to come up. Pivot to the back of your mat into warrior two. Bend and straighten that left leg this time until you feel nice and stable. Don't worry about where your feet are. The back foot's usually turned to the side or kind of angled a little bit. That's okay. And once you feel stable, bend that front knee. Make sure that the quad is engaged, so you're kind of pushing out and in at the same time. Scraping the gum off the bottom of that left foot this time, pulling the feet together energetically. Turn the rib cage to the long edge of the mat. Head turns to the front. Push out with your abs, that little cough, and lift up. Keep that brace and breathe. Take a side angle, left arm to left thigh. Reach overhead with the right. Pull that right shoulder up and back. And keep your brace here. Keep pressing down on your feet. And rise back up, warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Reach forward with the front fingertips. Let that back hip pop out. Come back, reach forward. And once you feel stable here, drop that left hand to the left thigh. Reach overhead with the right. Again, press out with your abdominals and lift up with your spine. All right, from here, grab your block, place it at the back edge of your mat, preparing for half moon at the back of your mat. So if you want to take a little baby step in with the back foot to shorten your stance, that's what I like to do. And before you tip over, make sure you're nice and braced. So push out with your belly, push down in that foot. You can take one hand to your hip if you want. Lift up through the crown of the head. Slowly take your time tipping forward, really pressing down in that standing leg. Point the floating foot or flex it, whichever you like. Pressing out with the core. That's really going to help you stay stable in this pose. Lift that top arm when you're ready, if you're ready. You can also do this without a block, just tenting your fingers on the ground if you're there. One more breath. I tried flexing or pointing my toes. It's so much easier if you flex, in my opinion. Drop that back foot, warrior two. Come to the side edge of your mat, take a wide-legged fold. You can sway side to side again or take a twist, whatever you like. And let's heel toe our feet in to squat stance. Toes out, heels in. You can use a block for this if you'd like. And we'll drop down into yogi squat. You can also take this in more of a yin way by keeping the hands on the ground and leaning forward onto the toes. Here you'll be getting more of a Achilles tendon and hip stretch. You can try taking some neck stretches here. Take the left ear toward the left shoulder. Right ear to the right shoulder. Come back to center, chin to chest. Then lift the hips and fold forward. You can walk the feet underneath you. Turn to the long edge of your mat, step back into a plank. We'll flow through a vinyasa if you like, or you can drop down and just do a push-up. Or you can lift up for cobra, up dog, or baby cobra. Push up to a plank on your toes or your knees. Exhale, down dog. Let's do one more of those. So come back into a plank. Elbows back, lower down. Inhale, press up, cobra, up dog, or baby cobra. Exhale to down dog, however you want to get there. From here, we're going to take a pigeon. So take your left knee behind your left wrist. Angle that shin to the top edge of your mat or underneath your body. Straighten the right leg. You can use a block here if you like, or books. You can lower down to your elbows or all the way to the ground. We'll be here for 20 breaths. Come back to that metta phrase, that loving kindness phrase. Say it one more time to yourself. So from here, come back to your hands. Tuck the back toes, lift the back legs, send that left foot back to meet the right. You can pedal out your feet or take a flip dog or whatever you need to take to feel countered. When you're ready, we'll take the right knee behind the right wrist, go straight into pigeon on the other side. And come back up to your hands. Take downward facing dog or a flip dog, whatever you need here. Or you can stay on your hands and knees, sway your hips. We're all going to meet back on our back. So flop over there when you're feeling countered. Give your knees a hug when you get there. You can rock side to side. Let's take supine butterfly. So the soles of the feet together, reach through your legs, grab your feet or ankles, push the knees away from you, pull your feet toward you. Lengthen the back of the neck, so taking the chin toward the chest. You can reach the heels up to the sky for happy baby, maybe straighten one leg, bend the other. Then relax the legs down the mat. Actually, just kidding, press the feet into the mat, knees are bent. We're going to take a bridge pose here, so tilt your pelvis, so drop the back, your lower back down into the mat, hug your belly in, squeeze the glutes, press down through your heels and lift the hips. Doesn't have to be high, just squeeze the glutes. Chest goes toward the chin. And relax down. You can take the knees side to side if you like. And we'll do that again. When you're ready, come back to center. Press the low back down, hug the belly in, squeeze the glutes and rise up. If you want to try clasping your hands underneath, you can. You can try rolling one shoulder under at a time, but you don't have to do that. Breathe. And lower down. Take the knees side to side. We'll take a quick banana asana here. So straighten the legs, actually bend the knees, keep doing that. Coming back into that bridge pose start, you're going to lift the hips and set them over to the left side of your mat. Then straighten your legs down to the top, the back right corner. Keeping the glutes on the ground, lift the arms up overhead and send them over to the right as well. So you can cross one ankle over the other if you like, or grab one wrist. You don't have to, you can keep the arms and legs side by side. Let's try to keep the midsection flat, your belly facing the sky. Just getting some nice lateral flexion of the spine. And come back to center with your body. You can bend the knees, readjust the hips. This time, lift the hips, set them over to the right, straighten the legs down the mat to the back left corner this time. Arms go overhead and over to the left as well, in that crescent shape. And relax the body. Come back to center with your body. Give your knees a final hug and relax down for Shavasana, final resting pose. Once you get comfortable, take a deep breath and say that phrase to yourself one more time, that loving kindness phrase. And then choose someone that you love and send that phrase to that person that you really care for. Like, may Katie feel joy. Then choose someone that you haven't seen in a long time or talked to in a long time, or maybe they live far away, and send that phrase to that person. May Santa have joy, whoever it may be. Now choose someone that you haven't always gotten along with, or maybe someone you got into an argument with, or maybe someone that's just having a hard day, and send them that loving kindness phrase. And bring awareness back to your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll over to one side of your body. When you get there, take a moment to reflect on your practice today. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, sigh it out. And press up to a seated position. Sit up nice and tall, bringing the hands together, thumbs to your chest, and bow your chin to your chest. Take another full breath in. Let it go. Repeat that loving kindness phrase to yourself one more time. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. The light in me honors the light in you.